they're only gonna get 37%. Looks like the supply hub is there in Zurich. I might station some of them I might choose a few divisions and send them back to Zurich itself and have them plan there as if they were going to invade north. They'll be further back, but that way the supply will be better. Because that's what close to the hub. I would choose the green ones probably. You can even put all the green divisions under a different general. And then have them do exercises to get to regular back there, while still gaining planning. Put him a new army, same field marshal, might as well get the bonuses from him, like to logistics and stuff. And I would put them there, and then draw an arrow so they get planning. Spearhead doesn't matter, and I would give them a general who's good with logistics, so that they're less impactful. So somebody who's got like 4 logistics skill. Keeping in mind this person.
About the main skill too? Or...
Well, you might bring this general in, bring them as reserves, or they, in a worst case scenario, it's up to you. Keep in mind your general who's on the front could get injured in combat, and you might want one of these guys to actually take over the fight.
Yeah.
I'd probably say if you're focusing, Cunningham is actually better when defending with infantry, and that guy is better when attacking, because defense skill helps you attack. Think of it as your shield when attacking, and attack skill as your sword. Infantry need the shield more than the sword. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of these 4. Isn't Cunningham currently redeploying from somewhere else? I think he's on cooldown right now. Because you used him before.
I don't think so. I think...
Yeah. We could try... also, planning will determine how much planning they build up doing this. I would try assign Cunningham and see what happens. Because if he's on cooldown... Oh, he's not. Well, yeah. Anyways, you can start...
I had an admiral with the same name.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And different. There's a Cunningham, the Admiral, Cunningham, the General. I guess it's a common name. Or nepotism or something. You can strat redeploy those guys back to Zurich so they get there sooner. So that the supply situation improves sooner and they get planning sooner.
Do I have to pull them off of the line?
No, I'm saying that they'll get there and they'll start planning.
Okay.
I already assigned that.
Oh, right. This front line's not... There's no
So yeah, you can just right-click in Zurich and tell them to go there. Oh, okay. But anyways, the reason I suggest putting a separate one is you can tell him to do exercises until they're fully trained by shift-clicking them. You probably don't want to do that with the ones who are going to go into combat, because if one of them suffered losses and dropped down the train, you wouldn't want to start suddenly doing exercises and lose all their org and leave the field just because of it, you know? Yeah. They also lose all their entrenchment when they do exercises. Sometimes combat losses will cause regulars to become trained or trained to become green, so... if they're taking heavy losses relative to the damage they're doing, that's very common.
Okay.
Or if you enlarge a division or with new companies or something. Point being, this may still overstretch the supply, but it'll be less overstretched. Let's see. That Chur is in a different state, isn't it? Yeah. Right. Is there a supply hub in Chur?
No.
No. But it isn't in a different state. It's right over the border, isn't it? Or no, that is the one southwest of Vaduz. But the Zvuz is on the border. I would send a couple divisions to Chur as well. Like here, if the Swiss get pushed, they could end up having to fight. So that's why you don't want the green guys here. But they can do planning as if they're going to invade Venice. But that'll also leave some of the supply burden on the guys who are in the other state that has Zurich. You're going to just have to control left click to assign them to that. And then you can give an offensive line so they get planning over there instead. And if the Swiss get pushed, they can counterattack with full planning already to... It's too bad you can't draw internal like plans, like to push an enemy if they push some, in. It's a planned counterattack that makes sense actually, realistically. Anyways, I just strategically deployed. Probably put like 5 guys there. 5 divisions. 3 is your supply is rough, to say the least. And then we just strategically redeploy all of those there. They get there quick, and yep. Cool. Anyways, I'll leave it up to you for the most part. I just thought I'd give you some tips on the planning supply stuff because I do a lot of that. Micro, it's something I probably do too much of. But yeah, you're gonna have to eventually very aggressively push. You may even need to do some force attacks, which will just simply bleed through your manpower and equipment. But,
oh, I can't buy rubber anymore.
Huh? Oh wait,
I
because...
might have assigned too many factories.
Well, if it just told you that the trade deal canceled, then your consumer goods factories must have gone up for some reason or something.
Yeah, because of the lack of civilian factories. I don't know what happened.
Something must have increased your consumer goods factories or denied you civilian ones. It might have been that you were getting factories from trade. Someone was buying resources and it shifts around and suddenly you're getting less trade than before. Because in those factories are being put into, I guess, weapons purchases. Because you can't use factories you get from trade to buy resources, but you may have been using factories you got from trade to buy guns, and then your domestic factories to buy resources, and it had to shift around. That's most likely what it is someone stopped buying steel from you or something. So, that happens randomly. You can increase the chances the AI buy from you and also gain trade influence with them by signing, military access, non-aggression pacts, that kind of stuff. That's why I do that so often.
Yeah.
Because the higher relations, the more trade influence you have. I mean, people will do, occasionally, trade pressure missions. It's rare. But why would you do a trade pressure mission if you can design a non-aggression pact and improve relations? That should always be your first step. And if you need more trade influence. Of course, that's for buying stuff. For selling, you just have them to like you. If you're staying on more political power than God, you can always improve relations to increase the chances to buy from you. I think that affects it, or to get trade influence, because I know it affects that. Because they like you more. That's the thing. The AI will acquire sometimes ludicrous. Like, I've seen them sit on like 700 political power, and they should, at the very least, improve relations with nations that have resources they're buying, because sometimes they're buying and they can only get like 4 of a resource because the resource is running out globally. So they should be improving relations to get more access to resources, but they don't. If they need, more than 4 anyways.
Oh, I finished my focus.
Yep, and I would just run nothing for a little while, so you can get that war propaganda before your war support hits 50, because then you won't be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have more access to factories now that focus is done, which means you can buy rubber again or whatever. So.
Might need a monthly tick. That or it's just not enough consumer goods.
Yeah, there's rounding.
Oh, yeah, there it is. 2 more Oh yeah, 4 factories actually.
Yeah, so you can use those to buy resources or to buy guns. So. Yeah, Turkey is gathering a lot of troops on my border. I don't like it. They got tanks and everything. They're clearly thinking of aggressive thoughts. Probably they're going to push the Tay issue, which gives me an option to tell them no. To bugger off. If I tell them no, they gain war support, but their base war support's already 100. If I tell them yes, they take Tay from me, and they gain political power, which is actually useful to them. So the Tay issue could be a good time to tell them no. Do you have any manpower now? Like, you should be gaining manpower now that you finished that spirit.
20,000?
Oh. Yeah, I would start training more divisions as you gain manpower now that your recruitable population is going up. Thanks to For the Revolution, because you lost the negative spirit that was hurting your manpower. Because I would train divisions to send down to Syria, honestly, or... No, not to Syria. What am I saying? Why am I saying train divisions? No, send me guns. Send me guns. Oh, because I'm out of manpower, that's why. You know, do train the divisions. Never mind. I can't... You can send me guns, but I can't use them because I don't have the men to... Yes, if you could train divisions and send them down to help me defend against the Turks, I guess it'd be useful.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Purchase request from the Soviet Union. They want to buy 62 light tanks and 38 anti-air.
Soviets or the Union of Soviet Republics? Trotsky or Stalin?
Stalin.
Huh. Well. If you tell them no, we'll hate you for it. If you tell them yes, we'll get weapons that might help them kill Trotsky, so... It's a lose-lose, honestly. Yeah, you can supply both sides in the war. You actually gain army XP from them using your equipment.
Okay.
Although you might need to start a very low level Lend Lease to actually get the army XP, but then it doesn't matter if you sold them equipment or Lend Leased them. They're using your equipment and you have an ongoing Lend Lease. Yeah, that's a fun thing. You can supply both sides in the Civil War and harvest army XP from it. You can even send attaches to one side and then Lend Lease the other, so that the side that's, you know, been strengthened doesn't wipe the floor with the other. But anyways.
So should I Lend Lease Stalin?
Well, what do you give him? He's selling him light tanks and what?
Anti-air.
Light tanks and anti-air guns. So yeah, you could send him a Lend Lease of 1 a month of each. I wouldn't, just so that you have an ongoing Lend Lease, I wouldn't send him any more than that. And the fun thing is if you later update the design so that you're not producing more of those light tanks, like you're producing a newer variant, you'll still get the army XP, even though the Lend Lease will not be fulfilled. Nobody said the Lend Lease has to be fulfilled to get the XP, so it's stupid there's even the condition, but I consider it you're saying spare parts. So, and then in exchange for spare parts, they give you reports on how the equipment performed, or your engineers learn things based on what needs to be replaced. So, yeah.
I don't have any of those tanks left to send.
Well, it doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter if the Lend Lease is fulfilled, just to get the army XP. That's why I'm saying 1 a month.
I don't have a light tank design.
You sure about that? It's probably marked obsolete or something. Maybe you bought it. You may be buying something that you actually... If you hover over the thing for what you're sending him, it'll... In the market screen, it'll tell you. Like, what are you giving him? Light Tank Mark 4. Yeah, you probably bought that from an AI, is my guess. Or the AI bought it. So you're reselling him stuff. Those anti-air guns, though, you can Lend Lease them.
Oh wait, I do have some.
Yeah, you're just not producing it. That's the best. You just send one a month and eventually you'll run out. And then you'll still get the army XP.
Okay, I see.
Was it the 25 pounder? Or the 20 cute weight or the 18? What was it that he was...
I think it's this one.
Okay.
I think it was an artillery.
It was well, the 18 pounder is artillery. The 2 pounder is anti-tank. And the...
Okay. Light
QF3 inch 20...
QF3 inch 20...
20 something weight, yeah. So yeah, it's the anti-air. And those tanks. And that anti-air. Cool.
Alright.
Yep. Are you... What techs are you doing again? How close are you to being able to get the next level of anti-air? Because it occurs to me that that's really old anti-air. Ah, a couple ticks away. Okay. That may be something to do.
Oh.
Yeah, the AI is not smartest about what it prioritizes, but you'll probably want to get that anti-air soon. Okay. So that, you know, deal with enemy air support, especially because you can't send air support to the Alps until you get France and Switzerland in your faction, because until then you can't use their air bases, and you don't want to do that yet because that'll cause Turkey to invade me. So so you'll want anti-air guns, better anti-air guns in your divisions, so that they don't, you know, get pounded from the skies. Of course, you don't have anti-air support companies in your infantry. Darn it. The AI didn't even add anti-air support. That's probably going to be a high priority to add that to your divisions when you have 10 army XP.
I've got 18.
Oh? Do you have any stockpile of anti-air guns? I'm asking something I can find out for myself. You looks like you have about almost 200. Okay, so I would duplicate your infantry template, because you're not going to be able to convert everyone, and you don't want to, because it drops their experience level from regular to trained. So I would create a duplicate of your main infantry template, add the anti-air, give it some name so you can recognize it, or a different icon or something, and save that. And then I would convert some of your infantry to use that, because you don't have enough anti-air guns to give them all. And the ones that you're going to go into combat first, you know. Plus, actually, anti-air guns protect all the divisions in a province. So, like, if you have 3 divisions and only one has an anti-air, it still protects the other 2 from CAS. Although it, you know, averages out. This is also one of the disadvantages of small divisions, because it takes 3 times as many anti-air guns to protect 3 divisions as one. So small divisions aren't without drawbacks. Of course, you still get more heart attack because you have more anti-air guns.
Okay. Anti-air, support artillery, engineer company. Alright.
Yep. So I would convert some of your divisions to that. I might pull some more guys back across the river towards Zurich, or even put them in Zurich. Let's see where there's other supply hubs, because maybe pull them all the way back to Bern. I don't know. Actually, maybe those guys who are green you should pull back to Bern.
They're not actually green anymore.
Well, we're just barely trained. I might pull those guys back to Bern, actually. So that they draw from the capital supply hub and put guys in Zurich who are getting retrained with the anti-air guns, because they'll drop to trained and you're wanting it to get to regular again before the fight. The guys who are, you know, who are just barely out above green, it's going to take a while for them to reach regular anyway, so they don't actually need to plan. But you can use the trick you just used. You can basically assign the divisions that you convert to anti-air guns to the front line that's in Zurich, and take those 9 and give them a, here, I'll look at it. So, you know, it'll switch to the generals, but what you can do with those is unassign them from that front, the 9 in Zurich.
Yeah.
I wouldn't delete it, like, just just a minus sign, unassigned, and then give them a new, just a fallback and burn. Right there. Yeah, and you can just strategically redeploy them there so they don't think they're in combat or something. They won't get planning, but they'll draw from the capital hub. But I would take, let's see, it takes, I think, 12 pieces, so you have enough to give, you have enough to convert up to 15 divisions to anti-air, but I wouldn't do all of it because you don't need to do all of them, you just need some to protect against enemy aircraft and reduce the cast damage. I'd probably take that group, that, like maybe 1 from Chur and like 5 from Vaduz, send them to Zurich, reassign them to the other general while you're at it, you know, like if you assign them to the order. Well, if you assign them to that front line Zurich, they'll automatically get reassigned to the other general. And the advantage of that is he's having them exercise till they reach regular, so that way they'll do so as well.
Oh.
And you know, so I would take some of those guys and send them as well.
4, you said?
Like 4, I don't know. It's just guesstimate.
Okay.
I'm sure that 5 divisions with support anti-air will be enough to at least deal with most of the enemy air support. Not
so
all of it.
reassign them, and then once they get to Zurich, change their template.
Oh no, I would strategically redeploy them to Zurich now. By the way, you can just click on the front line to always select the ones that you sent. Like if you control left click there, and then you can right click there to send them and strategic redeploy. And I would click, you see the thing next to the trash can?
Everybody strategically redeploy.
I know. Between the 5 selected and the trash can, do you see the 2 arrows? Upper left, below Cunningham's portrait.
Yeah.
You can change en masse. Instead of having to do it one by one, you can click that, and then you can click the thing with support infantry division AA. By the way, they'll appear in the order there are in your division designer, so you might want to drag those up if you want to do it and not have to scroll down in the future. But for now, if you just left click that, it'll convert all 5 of those to that.
Okay.
You need to click on the, yeah, there we go. I thought you were too close to the margins. It'll cost 1,500 manpower and 100 total anti-air.
Sweet.
I guess it's 20 per support. But yeah, it'll they'll when they gain the new manpower, they'll drop down to trained. But then over time, under Cunningham, they'll do exercises to regular again, and then you'll have divisions that have anti-air guns, and they'll help protect against enemy air-to-air. When the guys who don't have anti-air guns are done playing, though, you could send them to the front, like without the anti-air. It'll take a little bit for the anti-air to be ready, but.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyways, I'm gonna stop watching this because it strains Discord. And you good for me to unpause? I'm mostly sitting on my hands here, waiting to deploy men.
Yeah, should be good.
Once I get your convoys, I'll be able to send my guys en masse, which they should arrive in 4 more days, and I can just send pre-deploy guys and just send them all in Norway. Pre-deploy them because it's hot in Syria and I don't want them getting heat acclimatization. And
does it make them worse at fighting in the cold?
No, heat acclimatization has no malice to fight in the cold, but they have to lose the heat acclimatization before they get cold. So it increases
it'll take longer to get cold.
Yes. Because what first will happen is the heat acclimatization will tick down, and then once it reaches 0, then they start getting cold.
I see.
Not before
they can't
then.
Be simultaneously.
No, they can't be simultaneously. But yeah, August 4th, and these guys I'll get the convoys. Boom. Now I can pre-deploy some guys.
So did they drop to trained to just because they have to learn how to use the anti-air?
Yes. Because they got new manpower, and because they got new manpower. New manpower is always green, completely untrained. Yeah. You can get around this sometimes by creating small divisions that you train up to regular and merge in, and that can actually lose less experience because then you're giving them fully trained guys. But in this case, when you change a division template, you're giving them completely green recruits to go with the anti-air.
I see.
And then on top of that, you also, if you change guys, like what their task is, like if you change the template so it had line artillery and removed infantry battalions, so it was exact same number of men, it would still lose experience because they're infantrymen, they don't know how to use artillery. They can lose a portion of their experience because they still have, some training in basic military discipline and stuff. But they don't, they don't lose all their experience, but they do lose a portion of their experience when you change the type. Although artillery considered infantry subtypes, they lose less experience than if you turn them into like tanks, where they lose like almost all of it. Because there's very little in common between being a tanker and infantryman, whereas infantry and artillery have a lot more in common. So, anyways, I am pre-deploying all my divisions. Boom. I now have 24 divisions in all. Hey, wait, coincidentally, that's the limit for one general. That was not intentional, but I'll take it. I can send my army of Norway. The army of Norway, and when I put him under a different general than this guy. Too. Someone who's inflexible, who I didn't stupidly give unyielding defender to. Only one candidate, Ahmed bin Halil. Give him offensive doctrine, which is immediately useful. Boom. So Norway is actually very close to his capital, so I'm sending all my army to Bergen right now. By sea.
Oh.
If they lose their capital, obviously they surrender. Well, let's see. The reinforcements arrive in 35 days and 14 hours. They're not currently under attack at Bergen. They're trying to counterattack the enemy away to retake that airfield. But they won't win. It does delay the guys, though, because they can't reorganize their plan while they're under attack. So for a couple weeks, the enemy will be on the defensive. And then they do have reserves in Bergen. Oh no, those are your troops. Well, at least they're not exhausting the supply, and though they're very close to doing so. Very, very close. Righty then. Well, I've got my 24 divisions on the way. Is it cold in Bergen right now? No, just rainy.
What should my troops in Bergen be doing?
Nothing really.
I've got some green divisions.
You can assign them a front line and have them plan, though, so that they'll have full planning. Or you could have them, like, plan a naval invasion of, like, near Oslo, so that when you join the war, you'll start naval invasion right away. Although you'll need to support that with your navy when the time comes.
I'll just draw an offensive line for now.
Yeah. Well, the danger of that is if the front moves, then they'll move to the front. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I would leave them in place for now, but you could draw a naval invasion or something. They're actually, when my guys arrive, yours are using so much supply, it's going to actually be a problem.
So should we spread out?
You could send him by sea back to Newcastle. The whole reason I suggest going Norway is for coal decolonization. Newcastle is the most northern port you have, so they're least likely to gain heat there, at least. Temperature in Newcastle is 8 degrees Celsius. Whereas in London, it's 19. So... yeah, so I might send him back to Newcastle just because the supply is so bad. Or you could leave him a place, because if Bergen is about to fall, it may be better for you to join the war. And for enemies to march into Syria than to lose Norway. And because Norway falls, then their focus tree will probably be a lot. And then, well, that would be bad.
So I should just stay in Bergen?
I might leave a small force there, but this is probably too many divisions. I might leave like 4 divisions in Bergen. That's more than enough to shore up the defense if need be.
Okay.
Right. Other things you can do with the ones that you send, or things you can do with the ones you send back. Like let's say you send 10 of the infantry back and leave two of the cav and 2 of the infantry. You can set them to that anti-air template.
You want me
In fact,
to leave the cavalry?
Yeah, because they're smaller. They're smaller divisions and they're mobile.
Okay.
But yeah, I would send probably 10 infantry back, and you can create a duplicate of the air division that has the anti-air guns disabled, and maybe even other rifles and stuff, so that you can send them to train. With all the equipment disabled, they won't replace lost equipment, but they can still get them up to regular, and that way, they're trained in using anti-air guns. That's a possibility. Although there's currently no aircraft in southern Norway, there will be eventually. And this just lets you get ahead of the game. Anti-air guns also up against tanks, and I know Sweden will come in with some tanks eventually. So,
yeah.
Should
I leave behind the colonial garrison troops?
Yeah, because they're small. Yeah, I'd probably leave the colonial division garrison, the 2 cav, and maybe one of your normal infantry. How many convoys do you have that aren't in use?
Wait, where is this? Oh wait, this one's in Portsmouth. Oh, I see. So I can't leave behind 2 colonial garrisons. Only 1, because there's only 1 actually in there. Sorry, what would you ask?
I was asking how many convoys you have that aren't currently in use.
531.
Ooh. You could also send some, you could plan naval invasions of Norway. You could also send a few divisions to Jutland, to, the Danish peninsula. It's under Norwegian occupation, under occupation of the NPR. Because they're in your faction and they're tempted to guard the ports. If you have like a division in the port north of Elberg and the one in Esbjerg, they're at least less likely to pull additional divisions out of Norway to try and guard those ports.
Okay.
So you could divert a couple infantry to those ports, like 1 to each or something, and you could put the rest back in Newcastle because it's easier in your logistics. And you could have the ones that go to Newcastle, or all of them actually, but probably the ones that go to Jutland would just defend there. But the ones that go to Newcastle, you could convert to a version of the anti-air division that has all equipment disabled. Like I do this and I call it a reserve division because they don't get the weapons yet. You can also just use the reserve priority tag and they get whatever weapons are left over from the other stuff, but the problem is there's no reason to do that, to give them the anti-air guns at all yet. And you're really short-handed on those. Anyways, You good to unpause?
1 second. Alright, I think I'm good.
Alright, cool. It's worth noting I just learned how to tech juggle not too long ago, so I'll probably be doing a little tech juggling soon, which will make me require more thought for how I'm going to do my techs.
Tech juggling?
That's where it's inefficient in a way. It often wastes research days, but it can help you beeline a key tech quicker at the expense of taking more overall research days, so it'll slow you getting to other techs down the line, you know?
Yeah.
That's where you have a tech and you start on it right away on a slot with no days saved up, right? And then you have another slot that you finish the thing and you save up days, and then you take the original tech and you reassign to research something else entirely. And the progress that you had on that tech is still there. Like, say you were half done, you still got 50% progress. Then you assign this slot with saved up days to work in that thing, and it'll get the 50% progress you already had done. Plus, it'll take the 30 days you had saved up and juggle them into the tech. But it's inefficient, so you might have 30 days saved up. You might only gain 24 on the tech. So it wastes days, but it lets you get a tech faster than you could ever otherwise get it. So for really key techs, it's sometimes worth it. It's used in multiplayer a lot, like competitive, apparently. I only learned this recently. I never heard of it. I'm not sure what I would need to tech juggle right now. I got weapons 3 really early. I'm already started on rocket artillery, which are really important because, well, they have higher breakthrough. They improved artillery, but... And I think the same self-attack. No. Yep, same. 30 self-attack? They actually have... Yeah, they have the same self-attack, higher breakthrough, but mainly they use more tungsten, less steel. So I'm really short on steel. And less short on tungsten. So I was going to convert a couple of my artillery factories. But I'm going to... Since it's going to be 2, probably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's actually going to probably be the bottom 3. So I'm going to convert 3 of my artillery factories to make rocket artillery instead of normal. Because that will be easier on my resources. Like, being -13 on something is really, really bad. It actually means that my shipyard is working at -60% efficiency, for instance, on average. Which is really one at -55, one at 60, and one at -65. Average to -60. So, yeah, and it affects my artillery and stuff too, so.
So you said I should make a reserve AA division template?
Yeah, a template that has just the equipment disabled, so you can have them do exercises and you won't...
All the equipment or just the anti-air?
I would say all of it, because they'll still have enough equipment in hand to reach regular. It might take a little longer without replacing the lost stuff, but that way you don't waste putting equipment in the hands of guys who are off training, and you can make sure that the divisions are actually fighting get the stuff first. That'll include, like, rifles. Say you come out with a newer, better rifle, why send it to the guys who are training when you could send it to the guys in the front line and use the older rifles for training? So, you could even do the ones that are retraining in Zurich, put them on that all equipment disabled. Of course, the catch of that is then you'll need to put them back to the normal template, and it'll take a little while for them to get the equipment. But, you know, it trades off time for equipment savings. So.
Yeah.
But you can do that. Like, you could do that in Zurich too, because you have 9 divisions that can attack, and because of limits of supply and combat width, that's probably fine. 9 that you didn't convert, and you could have the 5 in Zurich, not get replacement equipment. And then convert them to the one that does have the equipment enabled once they're done exercising. That way you won't waste any equipment on attrition to exercises, like any new equipment. I mean, they'll still use up the stuff they currently have, but they won't get anti-air guns and then lose those through attrition. Which means a higher proportion of the equipment you lose will be infantry equipment they already had, as well as support equipment and support artillery they already had. But since you you're really low on anti-air guns. I think you have a lot more of the normal artillery. Yep, 1,000 pieces. That's tons. So another thing you can do is you could just enable the oldest type of artillery, so they use that for training if they lose a piece of the improved stuff. That'll speed up the training at the expense that you'll lose more equipment. But yeah, so it's a cool way to finagle stuff. Anyways, hello viewer, the real Soviet onion. Why doesn't it give me things? Oh, they just said hi, and then they're gone. That's weird. Probably a bot. Bots do that. They just come in, they say hi, then they disappear. It was an account created yesterday. Yeah, it's probably a bot. Okay, because the bots, they create accounts and they get banned. So that usually their average account age is very, very low. And then they create another account and they just keep doing it. And of course, what they're doing is they're advertising or they're trying to steal identities or stuff. Alright, good for me to unpause?
Yep.
Hi, I'm still here. Yeah, it's a script. The person's gonna say, hi, I'm still here, and if I respond to them in the text, because it can't recognize my voice probably, although some of these chat GPT things can recognize voices, it will try and engage in a scripted conversation, and then it'll try and direct me to Discord. And the reason I'll do that is I'll have real humans on Discord who will talk with me, but they'll only get the people whose attention they caught, so there's a filter. They only get the gullible ones who don't, you know, who are people who are interested in talking to them and are gullible, because the canny ones like me know they're being conned and won't pay attention to them. And that's perfect, because then their humans will work on those people, and it's I'm on a train, Miss Mary is trash. Yeah, you say that, but you're not responding to anything I'm saying. And your account was created yesterday.